Well, let's lighten things up. It is a Saturday night after all. Rap duo Stino Le Thwenny is looking to conquer the music world. They've released their debut album, You Want Some More, this year. They've collaborated with the likes of Casper Nyovest, Khuli Chana, Nadia Nakai and Roy, amongst others. So what's next for them? The two join us now along with the legendary rapper Khuli Chana. Good evening, gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us here on Newsnight. It's lovely to have you.
Good evening.
It's a lovely break from the hard news stories, you know. Lovely to have you guys in studio. Katlego and Canelo, let's start with you guys. You guys are originally from Bloemfontein, if I'm not mistaken. Talk to me about when you guys met and where this love affair with music started.
This love affair of ours started in 2014, where we met. I met Katlego, which is Castino, the hero.
I'm using your government names.
I forgot their real name. Oh wow!
Yeah.
Breaking news.
Yeah, yeah. We met 2014 at his EP launch.
Yeah.
We talked about making music together, and 2 days later we actually made music together. And then from there, it was just us performing at the same venues. But he's an individual artist, I'm an individual artist, so they kept on putting us like close to each other. If he was performing at 11, I was at 11:30, vice versa. And it just worked out like that, because everywhere we went, everybody was like, are you ready for Stino Le Thwenny? Instead of saying, are you ready for Castino? Or are you ready for 2020, you know? So that's how we became a duo ever since then.
Cool. And is the story the same for you?
Yes, it is. I mean, we've been working hard ever since. I mean, we grew up watching eNCA while getting ready for school. Yeah. And right now we're here with Khuli Chana now, you know.
Amazing.
So yeah, it's very surreal and we're very grateful for it.
Yeah. So there's a debut album. It's titled You Want Some More.
You Want Some More.
Talk to us about your sound for someone who's never heard your music before. How would you describe it to them?
Our sound is very nostalgic, you know, it reminds you of a time that you must have had a great time or a bad time or whatever it might be, but it's a fusion of old music. What would old music sound like right now? Like what would old hip hop music, Kwaito music, you know, sound like right now? Yeah. You know, so it's just that, you know, we just bringing back that South African feel to it. We just made it modern.
Lovely. Yeah. So Khuli, you are a legend in the South African hip-hop space. You must have seen something special in the guys for you to say, you know what, I want to hop on, I want to collaborate with you guys. What was it that attracted you to these guys?
Yeah, oh wow, man. We met through KO's camp. Yeah. KO, legendary, iconic, you know, comes from my era of music, and I jumped on one of these songs titled Mshiman, and the song blew up, right? And at the time, you know, I hadn't put out music much, you know, it was a bit quiet.
Focusing on other things.
Yeah, you know, and I was like, listen, I'm ready to drop a single, and seeing that I jumped on you guys, you know, song, I didn't charge you nothing for it. You guys owe me a song.
Return the
and
favor.
Then, yeah, and then they returned it, I'm talking tenfold, you know. And then we created Buile, that became a smash. That was like my biggest comeback. And here we are, you know, on the debut album, you know, I'm on a song called Karika, and it's a smash. It's another. So, you know, if you're lucky enough, as somebody who's been in the music business for long, if you're lucky, you're gonna find a duo like Stino Le Thwenny who's gonna carry you, you know, in your drought season, or who's gonna remind you of who you are and why they're in the game and how you inspired them, or who's gonna inspire you to keep going and give you some jewels on how to, you know, make your sound fresher and keep going. Yeah.
Khuli, it's interesting that you chat or you mention the drought season, because as a musician, I'm assuming that your career fluctuates.
Oh yes.
But you've been relevant and at the forefront and really a pioneer in the hip-hop industry for so many years. How do you make sure that you stay consistent when it comes to hip-hop and music?
This is, you know, this is one of the ways, you know, you've got to allow yourself as, you know, in hip-hop they call it an OG, you know, you would call it a master, to also just kind of put your ear out and listen to the young guys, to the younger generation, you know, and allow yourself to be tweaked by them. You know what I mean? And that's how you stay on the pulse.
Yeah,
you know? The bottom line in closing is that you have to stay a student in the game, you know, to stay consistent and relevant.
Keep learning and keep evolving. Yeah. So guys, you have some huge artists on your album, the likes of Khuli Chana, who's graced us this evening, Casper Nyovest, Nadia Nakai. How do you go about forming and building these relationships with these artists? Because these are artists that any upcoming musician would love to have on their debut album. How do you get this right?
Yo, you know.
Yeah.
How do you do it?
Star-studded.
It is.
It is star-studded.
Yo, hey man, I don't like using the word pester. You know,
you gotta do what you gotta do.
You know, you just have to do what you have to do. I mean, energy just oozes out. You know, when you send a song to Nadia and she has a fantastic reaction to it and she wants to jump on the song before you even actually formally ask, like, yo, please, can you? You know, Casper, everybody, you know, just making the song and having the idea with management saying, yo, we ready to do this. Let's do this. Let's send the songs. Let's just find out. Just, you know, it's just fishing. Just find out what's going on. And we were lucky enough that they loved our energy and they loved the songs and we had no problem. Do you have a problem, the hero?
We didn't actually have a problem. I really feel like it's very important. Like it's also for the upcoming artists, you know. Just try to stay authentic and just try to produce quality music. I really feel like, you know, we didn't need to prove ourselves that much. You know, we didn't ask for, you know, how much do you charge for a verse, you know, because we produce quality, we put quality on the table, and it's very easy to work with bigger artists like that, you know. Like I really feel like if we come with a song to Khuli Chana and be like, Khuli Chana, yo, you know, it has to be produced, you know, with quality. It has to sound like it's on Khuli Chana's caliber, you know. And I really feel like for the upcoming artists, they really need to work on that, stay authentic, and, you know, things will be easy. Features will be easy, you know. Performances will be easy, you know. So just try to keep that quality.
And on the topic of staying authentic, let's chat about that a lot, because often we see artists pivot. We've seen Amapiano blow up globally. This is a trend that a lot of artists are jumping onto. How important is it to make sure that you stay authentic to yourself and don't perhaps think, you know what, hip-hop is perhaps not as, for a lack of a better word, relevant right now. Amapiano is taking over. Let me jump onto that. How important is it for up-and-coming artists and OGs, as you've mentioned, Khuli, to make sure that you stay true to your purpose and what it is that you love?
You know, I think before I even knew what the word authenticity means, you know, and I think sometimes it's so overused that it's probably lost its meaning, but I attribute my success to that. So we came into the industry when everyone was rapping predominantly in English. We came in rapping Setswana, and when Setswana was not cool, you know, as a language, you know, Zulu, Xhosa, Nguni was dominating, and that became authentic. Authenticity is how we push the envelope, is how you know, you preserve identity, especially in hip-hop. You know, is if anyone in the Bronx, in New York is listening to South African music, he has to be inspired, and it has to make him feel like, geez, I'd like to go out there someday. I don't know, I don't understand what they're saying, but geez, I'd like
I have to experience
that. It's very important to also just kind of be very pro-South African, pro-language, pro, you know, Bloemfontein, pro-Mafikeng, and show that we are such a diverse country.
I'm from Mafikeng as well, by the way.
No wonder you're so gorgeous.
Thank you.
For sure.
Thank you. But moving on, do you guys want to add to that about being authentic and sticking to what it is that you want to do?
Just a little bit, you know. I mean, just being able to be yourself. You know, I think that's what it means. You know, if people can tell who you are from just your music and not be able to compare you to anybody else, you know, that's just how you keep it together for yourself. It's very important to do that. That's good. That's how you relate with people.
100%.
Yeah.
And we've always believed that we're the missing puzzle. You know, I really feel like we've been fans of music and South African music for so long that we've studied the game and we've studied what's been there and what's not been there. And we feel like we're from Bloom. We you know, there's not a lot of people who do it from Bloom like we doing it, you know.
Yeah.
So I really felt like Stino Le Thwenny, we were the missing puzzle, and I really feel like it rubbed on Khuli like that. It felt like it's a new genre, it's a new sound, you know. So we really felt like, you know, Stino Le Thwenny, this is what's missing, you know, this is the lingo that's missing, this is the style of rap
and representation
that's missing.
matters. It's important for up-and-coming musicians from Bloemfontein and from Mafeking to see people doing it and making it, you know, where they come from.
Of course.
Because you can't really achieve something if you don't see it, you know, if you can't, if you don't have an example. But moving on to something a little bit different, the last year in music has been a difficult one for a lot of musicians. We've lost some of our great musicians, DJ Somebody, aka Khuli as an OG. What has it been like to experience loss after loss? We've lost Ricky as well. I chatted to both Ricky and AKA's moms. They joined me in studio, and it was, you know, to see their grace and their strength is amazing. I can't imagine experiencing what they've experienced and still being so graceful about it. As someone who's in the industry, and you guys can add your voices as well, what has it been like?
Ooh, it's tough.
A loaded question, I know.
Yeah, that's, oh man. You know, I think with Keenan, I think that was a heavy blow for me, you know. I mean, I knew all of the guys that you've mentioned, you know. With AKA, we had such a special relationship, and this is the one guy who immortalized me, right? Meaning that there's a couple songs where AKA mentioned Khuli Chana, you know, in his song. So I can take it back to moments where, say, I was going through either a dark time and I wasn't putting out music, and I hear my name on his song, then it gives you life to just kind of get back in. But we did something amazing before he passed on. We did a collab song, and I'm just thinking about the phone call when he called me. It's as if he knew this was the last one.
Really?
Right? We made a song called Prada, and I think for the last time he did that thing again where he's like, I'm gonna solidify you in the game, you know, because the same thing, you know, that Double HP did for me, I kind of did for him in the beginning, you know, and it's been very hard for somebody like me. It makes you super anxious about the future, you know, but I think it's also given me this idea that, listen, I've got to go at this thing like AKA did, where it's like he did it like he's doing it for the first and he's doing it for the last.
Yeah,
you know?
He always just stayed so hungry.
So I can't wait for, on something positive, we've got the Maftown Heights 10th Festival.
Lovely.
That is, you know, that is coming back. It's a big reunion. Stino and Thwenny are going to be out there.
Nice.
We're definitely going to celebrate the life of Ricky. These are guys who've been on this stage, AKA DJ Somebody, my R5, and everybody who's passed on.
I can't wait to hear more about it and to experience it. Guys, do you guys want to add anything with regards to the artists that we've lost this year?
You know, it's really that. You know, you just never know that what you're doing right now could literally be the last thing that you're doing. So it has to be great. You always got to strive for greatness, because that could be the last thing that they remember you by.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, that's what I want to add. That's what I got from that. You know, like it's everybody that you mentioned did something great and fantastic that lasts, that people remember forever. You know, I feel like that's very special.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's really sad because, you know, those artists that passed on, those are the people that paved the way for us. You know, we wanted to be in this music industry because of those kind of people. You know, and we strive to be in the industry because of them. And now they're not here. I don't know. It feels like, are we in the same industry or not? You know, is it the very same industry that we fell in love, like that 2014 hip hop? Are we part of it as the newcomers now? You know, and it's very sad. All we need to do and all we can do is just, you know, continue the legacy and just try to make them proud.
100%.
Yeah.
Just in closing, quickly, I want to chat to you guys about, you know, your music rights, and there's a protest happening, I think it's next week, with the Cultural and Creative Industry Federation of South Africa with regards to this Performance Protection and Copyright Amendment Bill. Khuli, I'm not sure if you're familiar, but there's a fair usage clause that impacts the usage of artist material without compensation. Let's talk about the business of music very briefly and how important it is to understand your rights and understand these sort of bills that could possibly be signed into law and affect musicians' career and your pocket.
Yeah, and I would speak to that, you know, and I would just direct it to artists who are just coming up, who are, you know, infatuated by just fame and just your songs playing on radio and not understanding that you actually have rights. You have master rights.
Yeah.
You have two sets of rights, your master rights, your publishing rights, and that, you know, it's going to keep being chopped and changed, or it has not changed for as long as, you know, the industry has existed. So it's important to know the business and study the business, and
100%.
trust me, I have made many mistakes. All right. As an artist, I think we're very lazy when it comes to admin, period. Okay, so it's very easy to kind of overlook, you know, your admin, your business admin. So, and I just want to say to the people advocating for the, you know, the rights of musicians, I just want to say thank you for looking out for us. And I think, yeah, things will change. But I think as a musician who's been in the business for long, it's very important to know your rights.
100%.
And it's very important to do the admin or have somebody that takes care of your business, period.
Yeah, do the hard work as well.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, it's been lovely chatting to you. I actually enjoyed this conversation so much. I wish you guys all of the best. And Khuli, congratulations on becoming a dad, on graduating, all these amazing things.
Math Town.
Cheers to that. Thanks, guys. Well, that was rap duo Stino Le Thwenny and the legendary Khuli Chana. But that is where we wrap this evening. Thank you so much for tuning in. From myself, Abigail Visagie, and the team.